Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Margie, and today I'm going to make the old-fashioned Chex Mix. Years ago we used to make the Chex Mix with Worcestershire sauce and fresh garlic and fresh onion and different spices. Now you can buy the Chex Mix in many different varieties at the grocery store. But I'm going to show you how to make it from scratch today, because then you'll see exactly what goes into it, and you'll have the butter and the Worcestershire sauce and all those nice spices. And you can always also change your ingredients a little bit to suit your flavors. Like today I'm going to use a little cayenne pepper, which was actually never in the recipe. But we'll see how that works, because our tastes and flavors change over the years. So we'll see how this works out, and I'll be back in a moment to show you the ingredients. Now the interesting thing about the ingredients is that, now here are my dry ingredients. Now in the recipe it calls for a certain amount of each one of these ingredients, but you can mix and match however you like, okay? Because I'm not as fond of the Chex, I didn't use quite as many, so it called for, I guess, 9 cups total, but here I have 6 cups of an assorted. This is rice and this is corn. So instead of getting the wheat ones, I decided to use, it called for 1 cup of these little pretzels, but I decided to use 2 cups and a few extra of these little melba rounds. So if you look at your ingredients and you look at which ones, because when I buy the Chex Mix, I love these crackers. They're my favorite part. So I decided to add more of those. Also it calls for nuts, and I added a few extra nuts. This is mixed nuts. It calls for 1 cup, and I probably have about 1.5 cups there. Those are your dry ingredients. Now the spices, it calls for 1 tablespoon of garlic, or garlic powder. I'm going to use, this is fresh garlic, which I use this reamer for to get to grate the garlic, instead of the grater that you stand up on a table like this one here. This gives you much more of a finer consistency that is broken up. And it also calls for like 1/2 teaspoon of onion. So I'm just going to grate some of this same way. It's almost going to give juice. And that's the interesting thing about the spices too. You can do spices any way you want, which spices you like more than others. You can use less of one, more of another. I actually have a couple of videos online on our channel for how to make honey mustard pretzels and cinnamon pretzels. Can you see that in there? It gives a very nice, you know, it's much more smooth instead of big pieces. So it's going to be stronger, so you have to be careful about that too. Okay, it only calls for 1/2 teaspoon of the onion powder, but I decided to use fresh onion and fresh garlic instead of the powder. That's one of the nice things about, instead of buying this in the grocery store. Here I have 1.5 teaspoons of a combination of paprika, cayenne pepper, and turmeric and salt. It's 1.5 teaspoons. And I have 8 tablespoons of butter I'm going to melt. About 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And there is 1 teaspoon of grated onion and 1 teaspoon of grated garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and put this butter into the microwave. While I have my butter melting in the microwave, I'm going to put the oven on to 250. And I'm going to have 2 racks going in the oven. So, you know, you want one up high and one a little lower, so the trays are evenly dispersed. And I'm going to, in a large bowl here, okay, this is a pretty large bowl. You probably don't need one quite this big. But I'm going to just put all of my dry ingredients into this bowl. I hear my butter in there going berserk on. turned it off. So we want to add to our butter, we want to add all of our ingredients and give that a stir. So everything is combined pretty well, so when we pour it over our dry ingredients, it's going to stick evenly. It's our Worcestershire. So now you see what goes in. So when you see what goes in, you just really know what you're getting rather than buying something in the store. That's the whole point. People go, well, you can buy it. And honestly, my 25-year-old son doesn't understand because I don't think he's really had it homemade. It's been, he used to make this years ago, back in the 70s, in the 80s. We used to make this all the time. Okay. Guess it's my fault that my son hasn't really tried these things. Okay, let's bring this over, and we can slowly, I have two things to toss, and also I have this parchment paper on cookie sheets here, ready, so I can spread it out once it's tossed in there. And I'm actually going to take a spoon, and I'm going to slowly drizzle this over, so I can really utilize it to the fullest to make sure I get it all over everything. So I'll toss some, toss it, and then come back again. This is a nice little amount for a party. If you dumped it all on at one time, you wouldn't get another chance to spread it out a little bit more. We'll bring our cookie sheets over. We'll try to divide it up into 2 cookie sheets. I don't know how well I can do that. Just spread it out. You can actually use your fingers, it's not hot. Okay, so I'm getting ready to put them in. And then we'll watch and see how they do. In 15 minutes, I'll give them a toss. A little trick that I learned from making lots of these kind of pretzels is that what I've done is I went ahead and I washed out my bowl, and I'm drying it. And this is the first 15 minutes that I just took them out of the oven, because really, actually, it's very easy if you really want to. See if I can move that a little more. If you really want to make sure that your things get well turned, okay. It really doesn't hurt them to do this if you take them out of the oven, and plus you get a really good opportunity to toss them around. I just put them back into the bowl because it's so hard to, there goes my first 15 minutes. It's so hard to really move them around on this pan, but it does help to do this. Now I took these out, this is the 3rd time, and I think they're starting to get a little bit darker. I don't know if you can tell. But they're not, they're okay still. But the reason I'm showing you that is because I want you to be sure that you're careful in the last baking that you don't overdo it and then they get dark. You can add bugles. There's all kinds of fun things you can add in here. Fritos or something like that. A different kind of nut. More peanuts than anything else if you like. Maybe extra cashew nuts. Okay, well, these are going to go in for one last cook, and I'm going to watch them this time just in case. Well, it's come out of the oven for the last time. I have these little larger trays, so I just dumped it out onto here. with another piece of parchment paper under it so I can let it cool. And there it is. Oop. And it is really very good. It's a little hot right now. So you can take a basket. This is just a little wicker basket. Put a few napkins in. Just open them up. Put one in this way and then put the points the other direction, you know, so you have a couple of points sticking out. And then you go ahead and fill up your container. And you're ready for your Super Bowl party. Put it in a zippy bag and bring it to somebody's house. And it's just like old times. And you know, one of the nice things I just noticed from already eating a little bit of this is that it's not as salty as what you get in the store. And anytime you can have a little bit more control over that, that really is good. Okay. I can't stop eating these. Well, these are your Chex Mix, and I hope that you enjoy your party, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!